Hello, hello. Welcome to another DCU Daily. We have a bunch of fun stuff for you today. We have, some preview for the current DCU project that is going on right now, Creature Commandos, a little update on the next episode coming this Thursday. Some bit of Frankenstein, a little bit of Alana, Liz's favorite character. So there's that. We also have, there was that Bane and Deathstroke movie was announced. James Gunn didn't really do anything in regards to that, but there's a little bit more news how it's coming maybe a little bit sooner than expected. Um, you know, Kyle Chandler is now got that Dilfy look with a nice beard for his Hal Jordan. So that's definitely adding into the Earth One Green Lantern aspect of the character. So it's clear that they're probably borrowing majorly from that, but looking good. And, some maybe hope for the TV series, probably not. But, and as well as, a little bit of an update in regards to the series, as well as Tyler Hoechlin maybe wanting to return to Superman in a different format. And, we're going to be getting into some fan casting. I know something that you guys totally love, but it's going to be a little bit different. We talked about the upcoming Clayface movie, how it doesn't have a director. Well, Mike Flanagan's a little bit too busy with his 7 million other projects, so it seems like, a director is needed, and it's apparently going to be starting filming soon, so they better find a guy fast. Well, we have a couple of recommendations for DC, so James Gunn, if you're watching, if we offer this, give us a call. Maybe we'll get like a royalty check. It's fine. But here I have joined with me today is Liz. Liz, how are you doing today?
I'm well, and I also would not mind a royalty check. Not that I'm going to be bringing a lot of ideas to the table, as I'm still very new to the DC universe. But always happy to be here. Always excited to learn new things and learn about new characters, or at least new to me.
That's what did Ted Lasso say? They don't have judgment, have curiosity, whatever the hell
There
the
you
quote
go.
is. But
Yeah.
obviously we will get into some, yes, smash the like button, please, and comment and subscribe and clicking the bell and doing all the things before we really jump on. Yes, that too. So we will be jumping into the very first thing, and he's just doing everything under the sun. The very first thing we have is a little bit more of fifth episode of Creature
Woohoo!
Commandos, which is going to be focusing on Frankenstein, even though he's not really part of the Creature Commandos, but he is a major character. So he will be part of this, and we're going to be getting his side of the story. Maybe good, maybe bad, who knows? But speaking of Clayface, he's right there, voiced by Alan Tudyk. And, Liz, you are just as big of a fan of Creature Commandos as I am. What are your thoughts on these images? Does it have you more excited? Does it have you worried? Or are you just kind of like, I've always been excited. Nothing is new to me. I'm just ready to go. I'm ready for this entire season to be out.
Well, it's all new to me, but that's what keeps me excited. Every single episode, the fact that I'm going to be learning something about a particular character that I knew nothing about at the start of the season is pretty compelling. However, I'm getting to a point now where I'm enjoying the show so much that I want more from each character, and it kinda sucks because I know they're kind of set up like a Suicide Squad, so, like, I have to kind of anticipate that at some point, some of these characters will no longer come back, we won't see them again, like G.I. Robot, oh my god, please someone rebuild, he can be rebuilt, please rebuild him, we need him to shoot more Nazis, but so that now I'm kind of struggling with the format and the way that they've laid this out, where each episode focuses on an individual character for the majority of the because I just want more. That's all. So
Yeah,
it's kind of a compliment. It's definitely a compliment to James Gunn and what he's been putting together here. But
exactly.
I, I'm loving it. I look forward to it every single week. I'll definitely be watching Thursday, but I need more. I need a little more, but I am excited that we're gonna, get Frankenstein's twisted side of his story, and to see how Clayface now gets into the fold because we've been anticipating seeing this character this entire time.
Mhm.
So now seeing how he's gonna play out with this is gonna be interesting. So I can't wait. I'm looking forward to it for sure. Oh my god.
Yeah, I think it's definitely really cool to see. It looks like the bride is rocking the Pollockstan guards laser cannon things, which is definitely really cool. I just hope that you know that we're just going to be getting the best of the best with each. I will say, episode 4, I liked it. I thought it was very good, but I thought episode 3 was better. Um, but I mean, I still felt bad for Weasel. I hope justice for Weasel, justice for Vic, justice for everybody. Um, so
Justice for Weasel for sure, that poor thing, my goodness. What a deep frickin' storyline that was, holy
yeah,
shit.
it's
I'm
just like I felt like there should have been more with him, or there should have been more with the overall story. I feel like we didn't get a ton
well, again,
with
that's
both.
why
That's
this
why it's
format,
yeah,
is
it's an
becoming
awkward format.
problematic, yeah.
Yes, I believe in the Weasel.
I do too.
But Sean Gunn has. It's like no wonder Sean Gunn got two characters because one of them was going to get killed off. So he's like, "All right, you can get Weasel. You could stick with Weasel, and then you'll get this guy." And um, but we got Alexi as well. I just can't wait for the fucking Dr. Phosphorus episode because I feel like Dr. Phosphorus has not been getting a ton, and it's like, bro, it's Alan motherfucking Tudyk.
Yeah,
Use what you have. Like, why not do like the Dr. Phosphorus episode fucking first? That's
yeah,
that's your gold mine right there.
yeah.
Come on, man. But even then, I'm
Well,
still
it's
excited
saving the
for the
best
next
for last.
episode.
That's all. I mean, it's totally fine. Again, every week I'm excited for a new story, a new character, origin story. So I'm it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I just damn. I hope
No,
like
no, no. That's not how it works, babe. No, that's
I
not how relationships work. No.
I just hope he develops. That's all. He's not just gonna remain
Well,
the
I'm sure.
simping
Yeah,
cuck, but
I'm.
like
We'll see. Well,
yeah. I
we'll see.
I just great show and I like what they're doing. So it seems like we'll be getting Frankenstein, then Nina Mazursky, then Dr. Phosphorus, or reverse with the last two. But um no, so well, I that's what I hope with this episode. We're gonna get a little bit more insight to this character. He's
Yeah.
not just totally a sack of shit that killed the
Once
grooming necrophile, but
Well, we know at some point the bride is gonna turn around. She's not gonna fall in love with him, she's not gonna enter into a relationship with him, but
no,
she is going to kind of tolerate his presence. Once that happens, then I'll feel differently about him for sure. But I'm letting the bride dictate how I feel about Frankenstein because
that's fair enough.
chicks before dicks, baby.
And bros before hoes, as it always is.
Yeah.
So but yeah, Clayface looks great. I love how monstrous he looks. I love how inhuman he looks. So I like how I do like how Rick Flag and Frankenstein have like a bromance now. That's great.
Yes, that's pretty funny.
Um, yeah, I mean Frank Grillo did promise that he was like, oh yeah, we got a bromance going on. It's like, all right, let's go.
I just
But
love
yeah,
the part when they're talking about the Titanic and Frankenstein is like, "Oh, have you seen this little film by the director James Cameron?" And he's like, "Yeah, I've seen it." He goes, "Hmm, not many people have." That was I mean, just that little casual thrown in there, I was dying. I thought that was a great exchange between the two of them. Okay.
ew, gross. Who are you kissing? Who is Frank Grillo? No, okay.
Now let's not.
Um,
Moving
but
along.
yeah, I think there's only 3 more episodes left. I got this one in
That's
the.
that's heartbreaking.
I know.
You know what it is? It's because they're not for me, like, if they were an hour long, like the Penguin, for example, the Penguin gave you just enough. It was just enough. It cut you off at a good point. You got enough of the story because it's an
Yeah,
hour long.
but it is
Creature
animated,
Commandos
and
being 22 minutes an
they have to
episode
stretch
is
that
not
budget.
22 episodes is 22 minutes an episode is not enough, and only 8 episodes, like, it's I want
It should have
more.
been 30 to 35 minutes. I think
I
that's
want
what it
more
should have
James
been.
Gunn.
That's what it should have been. I don't give
Stop
a
killing
fuck
them
if they
off.
put this on syndicated television. Fuck that noise. I wanted 30 to 35 minutes. That would have been better.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we have a lot to look forward to in terms of certain characters. I can't wait for Nina Mazursky's episode. Get that the fuck out of
All
here.
right,
Where is
Nicole,
that?
move on.
Get that off my fucking screen. Anyway, Bane and Deathstroke. Moving on.
Hey,
Another team up thing that'll maybe involve the future of Secret Six or whatever the fuck.
but are we gonna get Joe Manganiello back for Deathstroke though?
Probably not.
Boo.
It's a shame, but
I was
that,
excited to see him in that
I
role.
know. So he was a big fan cast. Same with Mary
And
Louise
he trimmed
Dreyfus.
down, like, he got, he trimmed down, he got nice and lanky for it and everything, and all that poor work,
So
Frank. Sorry,
so
not
what
Frank, Joe.
we've got here is not failure to communicate, but apparently, according to Production Bulletin, apparently Bane and Deathstroke's planned start date is going to be a fall 2025 production, even though it was like just announced, and we don't know if this is going to be live action or animated or whatever. Nothing really is known about it, just that it's happening and it's going to be written by the guy who wrote Captain America Brave New World, which let's hope that the only
Oh,
thing let's
wow.
hope that
Well,
the writing of that is good,
well.
and the reason that movie is going to suck and fail is because of the reshoots. Let's
Well,
just
if
hope for
but you know
that.
what? If James is overseeing it, regardless who they have writing it, I there's hope no matter what.
Right.
Um, are we gonna get a true Bane is my question, because I know everybody was very critical of, Tom
Tom
Hardy's
Hardy
Bane not being big enough,
not
not
being Latino.
okay, fair. But I mean, even the Bane that we got in, Batman and Robin, was that Bane big enough? Did
I
that
mean, he
Bane
was a
fit the
wrestler, so
bill?
that makes sense.
Yes. But I'm just oh, calm down. I'm just wondering what the fans will be looking for
I
this time,
think
and will they
they
be going in that direction, or is it
I
gonna be
think
more
they
like a Tom
want a
Hardy?
big Latino guy, which I think I always think, what I personally believe, I think that the guy who played the Mountain, the first Mountain
Okay.
on Game of Thrones, he should be the body, and then since he's wearing a mask that covers his mouth and face, he be voiced by Javier Bardem. That's how it
Ooh,
should be, a mix of body and kind of like Darth Vader, how he had James Earl Jones as the voice, David Prowse as the body.
could
So,
Javier Bardem not be I mean, he's very tall.
but he's
He's
not. I don't know
I
if
mean,
he could put on those amount of muscles.
probably
Like
be
Bane
it'd probably be like
is
a padded suit
big. No,
CGI situation
here's the thing.
anyway.
It
You don't
it
think
might
so?
have to be a CGI situation. I
That's what
think
I'm
they'll
thinking.
have to do that
Yeah.
because is he? But yeah, that's the thing. Is he tall enough?
He
I don't
Javier
know.
Bardem definitely is.
I think his I'm probably gonna butcher his name. It's Swedish, I believe. Halfor Bjornsson, I think is his name. I'm butchering that. I apologize. I just know that he I believe he was the first mountain on Game of Thrones, because there was like three of them. I think Conan Stevens was another one. Um but yeah, I think that's how I want it to be, like get a big like guy, a big bodybuilder, wrestler, weightlifter as the body, and then get a voice to do that properly, because I feel like you're never gonna find the perfect match of like, unless you do CGI. But the thing is, I don't want it to be CGI. I want like someone who's naturally that big.
Yeah.
And if he uses the venom, which is the stuff that's like in his like that's the like juice he uses to like roid up, then do that for CGI, because that's you need that
Right.
to be big enough. Um uh yes, thank you.
Speaking of Game of
Um
Thrones.
yes, yeah, Aiden Gillen, very good actor. But yeah, I think that's what they should do. But the thing is, it might be live action, might be animated. I don't know why. I just thought animation, like it just like they're just
Okay.
the vibe I get is like
Okay.
Bane and Deathstroke. I feel like that's like an
Well, again, then
animation
I then
thing.
I hope Joe comes back so he can at least, play that character
I
even though he
do
did,
hope he does. I don't think he
just
will, but I it would be. I mean, I would say SI Morales, bring him back, because he fucking rocked in Titans. It just the show sucked. So it's like, give him another chance. He would be great. I would say I think he might be too old now, but I mean, Deathstroke is one of those weird characters where he like looks old, but it's like they always get like a younger guy. So I think, but Stephen Lang, if he bulked up, I think he could be a good Deathstroke. I think there's a lot of guys who could definitely pull that off. It's just Joe Manganiello would have been so perfect, and they didn't fucking use him because the DCU went down the shitter, and it's just like, look at that. That was
Look
just
at
so
that
perfect.
guy.
We were this close to greatness.
I mean,
But
I'm really not a fan of the coloring of the
yeah,
beard
the coloring's
situation,
weird.
but
But you know what? Believe in the Manganiello.
exactly.
Speaking
Yes.
of,
And
Magic
he's a
Mike,
super nerd, so I want him to be able to be in
he
projects
was
like
like
this.
the Henry Cavill before Henry Cavill almost. Like they kind of rose at the same time.
I wouldn't be surprised if he didn't end up in
He
Henry's
does
Warhammer
D&D
situation,
sessions at his
and he
house
does.
with like
He had a custom D&D
A-listers.
table made. It's a whole thing.
Yeah,
I know it.
it's
Yeah.
great. Love that dude. But
Yeah.
yeah, whatever direction they go with this, I just hope it's good. I know everyone wants like this will tease a Secret Six movie, and I'm like, if that's the case, I would be open to that too.
That's all right.
But yeah, Bane and Deathstroke, I think it's cool. I don't know how true this is because Production Bulletin was wrong before. They were like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
Booster Gold is gonna fucking start filming in July of 2024, and look how that turned out. So it's most likely bullshit, but Production Bulletin it's like that's like the insider information in regards to filming and that kind of thing. So maybe this one is true. Maybe they just got wrong information for Booster Gold and that was like a one in a lifetime thing. Maybe this is true. I hope it's the case because it definitely sounds like a really cool thing, but I don't know how good it'll be because like they're doing a lot of the same things like, oh, look, I mean, Joker Folie à Deux failed and you're still highlighting all these, villain movies in regards to specifically Batman. So, well, I know the writer I already said is Matthew Orton, who just recently did Captain America 4. So, I don't think they have a director yet. They just have the writer, and they don't have any cast. They don't have any, yeah, Dan, listen to when I speak. Um, but yeah, I think this is going to be a cool movie if it is true because James Gunn technically never confirmed it. That it was just through like Deadline, which he did say more often than not is correct. But it's
Yeah.
just like it's a little iffy when I don't hear it from James Gunn himself. That's
It's
like
a
always the
hopeful wish.
tickling
Yeah.
feeling in the back of
It's
my
a
head.
hopeful
So
wish. We'll see what happens.
right. So it's definitely a cool sounding movie. Bane deserves more love. Deathstroke deserves more love. Both of them are the kind of antithesis of Batman. So um I think that would definitely work. It just I want Bane to be the villain of Teen Titans. That's like or sorry, Deathstroke to be the villain of Teen Titans because that's he's connected with that group. So okay. But yeah, I think you know, it's definitely a cool idea. It could lead to bigger and better things. Whatever the plan is, I'm open to it. But next we're going to from Batman to Superman again. We have Tyler Hoechlin. He did mention this a couple weeks ago, months ago, right around the time Superman and Lois was ending. He was like, you know what? I love this character. I love playing this character, but you know what would make this character even better? If I got to play him whilst wearing sweatpants. And I like where Tyler Hoechlin's mind is at. So, because like I'm not actually in sweatpants. I am in my holiday pants right
There you
here.
are.
There it
Look at
is.
that. Christmas spirit right
Ah,
there.
they got polar bears on them. I'm trying not to show my
Adorable.
feet. You're gonna have to pay for the Patreon for that one. But
Absolutely.
but yeah, I got my polar bear uh holiday pants on. I have dinosaurs, I have like wearing ugly sweaters, and then Yetis. They're all from Me Undies, not sponsored, but they're very comfortable. I recommend getting them.
Okay.
Uh but Tyler Hoechlin did mention that he would be open to an animated spinoff, and honestly, I would love to see that continuing like in between the final moments of the last episode and like after they defeat Lex Luthor. I would love to see that original plan. I don't know if that could work, but I mean they were very general about it, but it would be like hard to I don't want to say hard to watch, but it's like we know everybody lives. So it's like it's hard to do like have any sort of tension or suspense in regards to these characters because we know they're all gonna live anyway, unless they retcon stuff, but I don't think they would do that. But I think that would be I think that would be fun because what's his name? Todd Helbing, I think his name was. He was like, oh, I want to do Brainiac. I'm like, if we were allowed, I would have done Dark Side. And I think those are that would be really cool for Superman. I know, well, I prefer Dark Side as a Justice League villain, but honestly, I would just love to see Dark Side like actually used rather than guy in background in like Zack Snyder's Justice League. But I mean, that's understand. Like there was a plan. He was gonna appear later, but I think like having him would be really awesome. But I would love to see this. I know you never watched Superman and Lois, but
Nope.
like, would you like to see this, or you'd be like, I have no interest, so it's whatever.
No, I mean,
I have
I
no stance on this.
the fact that all of these actors, because we've seen it in a couple different things, right? The fact that all of these actors care so much about these projects, still want to play these characters, still want to play these roles, have a passion for it. I think it's wonderful, and I think it says a lot about the franchise in general and the DC universe as a whole. Um, and so I think it's great. And if they do that and he comes back for that project, we're all the better off for it. So I think that's just fine. I'm totally about it. Again, yeah, I've never seen the show, but I do appreciate somebody who's passionate about things like that. So yeah, I think it's a great thing.
Yeah. I mean, he has been, according to many, like the best modern like Superman we've gotten because like it was a fulfilled vision for the most part.
Okay.
And he was just so great as this veteran Superman where he's like flawed, but not the character. So like everything about him worked, and Tyler Hoechlin did such a great job. Bitsy Tulloch did such a great job. The
Okay.
whole cast did, even the people that paid the fucking Cushings and Langs because I fucking hated them. But like, yeah, we all make sacrifices. So yeah,
Good to know.
I think this was a great show. I think it ended on a high note. Yeah, the last season was a bit rushed, but overall it was still great. So I'm cool with that. I know everyone's like blaming James Gunn. This is another thing that people blame James Gunn for. Oh, you're the reason that this got canceled. It's like, no, if you read between the lines, you'll know that that isn't true.
Yeah.
But I hope that's the case. Maybe even a comic book, like like an Elseworld comic book for this. I think that could be cool too. Whatever they decide to do, even if they don't do anything with it, we still got a good ending. We still got a good show out of it. So I'm cool with that. And
Yeah.
that's okay. But we're going from Batman to Superman to Green Lantern.
Hey
We
now.
got possibly first look at Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan, and very much that Earth One look. Now, Earth One is an Elseworld comic where it's DC heroes are introduced, but in modern day. Yes, he definitely has the Dilfy look. Um, but honestly, he looks great. Like I understand they're going for an older Hal Jordan, and he is almost 60. So whether he does die, becomes parallax, or retires, whatever they do, I hope he doesn't die. But whatever they decide to do, I feel like they're matching that energy that they are conveying with this. So I'm curious. I think it looks great. I
Yeah.
think he looks like I'm excited for Kyle Chandler as Hal Jordan. I mean, he'll be better than Ryan Reynolds. I know that. Um, and I'm excited for Aaron Pierre as
Yeah.
John Stewart. He needs a win after Mufasa. And so, I'm curious for someone who knows very little about Green Lantern, what are your thoughts on this look? General comparison to comic book stuff. Curious. Just
I mean, I gotta be honest, when I first saw this, I was like, okay, this isn't news because that guy has had a full beard for other projects before. He's had the salt and pepper hair for some time now. I was like, "Okay." Like, I've seen him in that look before, but it's nice if that's what the character looks like in the comic book, then great. I'm looking forward to Lanterns regardless, just so I can learn some more about these characters and again, gain some more knowledge about the DCU in general. So, yeah, it's all great. Excellent. Wonderful. Can't wait.
yeah, I think I mean there's not a ton here. It's just, you know, I just I like this actor. I think he's done a
Oh,
lot of
yeah.
great stuff, and
Yeah.
I like the vibe they're going with here. I want to see, although now I want to see Aaron Pierre as John Stewart. That's I'm curious. I'm curious if they're going to do a beard. Curious if they're like going to give him a full head of hair or anything like that. So if they're going to make him look younger, make him look older, whatever.
Right.
But I don't know. I'm this again. I'm still interesting goatee, maybe a soul patch. Um, but just keep going with the facial hair. But yeah, I think we still got that lantern train going along because James Gunn, I believe James Gunn mentioned that there's a bit of a production update in regards to filming dates because again, coming from Production Bulletin, again, let's hope they're right. I remember reading this a couple weeks back that they would be starting filming in February, specifically February 10th. Whoa, that voice crack, Jesus Christ. But I mean, this lines up with the overall timeline because um I don't know if it was James Gunn specifically, but somebody mentioned that Lanterns would be coming out around the same time as Supergirl. Now, either right before or right after. With this, it would probably be right after because there's more to film. And Supergirl is starting to film in January, and this would be starting filming in February. So, it's just like things are really setting into motion here, and curious, do you think this is accurate? Do you think this is total bullshit? Do you think, or do you think it's like, I have nothing to really say about it because,
Well,
we know
I
so
mean I
little.
mean, in the sense that we've been talking about lanterns for a while, there's been buzz about lanterns for a while. We're finally kind of building up the cast and getting a look behind, who we're going to see in the show, in the production. Um, February makes sense to me. Again, they're going to be wrapping. Creature Commandos is wrapping up. They're going to be, showing Peacemaker season 2 pretty soon. So I mean, as far as their own production timeline, putting out their various projects and things like that, it makes sense. But for me, until there's like an absolute confirmation from James Gunn,
Hmm.
until he starts talking about it, until he starts, sitting down to every possible interview that he could have about it, it's you never know. It's going to be up in the air until then, because
Right.
he's the final say, in my opinion, on these things.
Yeah, him or Peter Safran, but Peter Safran doesn't really have a main account in terms of all
Right.
this stuff. So,
Yeah.
it seems like James Gunn, even though he's the creative side and not really the business side, he's the face of it all. So,
Right.
you know, I think that's a good case. Is just Production Bulletin. They were wrong before, so I'm a little shaky. Yes, filming in LA for 6 months. That makes sense because it's like only 8 hours. It's not, you know, um, it's 8 hours of television. And usually they're a lot quicker, even in this day and age when there's not like 22 episodes a season. They're still relatively quick because they have to get through so much through so little time. So, um, again, as I've said, I've been very skeptical of the series. I want it to be good. It's just there's a lot of things that hinder my enjoyment and excitement over the series. But again, I hope to be proven wrong, and I hope it's good. But that's if that is true, then we're getting stuff. Even if it's not, then James Gunn will swoop in and destroy the rumor before it begins. But he
Exactly.
hasn't said anything in the last couple of weeks, so who knows if that's true or not. But again, we got some ton of lantern stuff. So we have look what
Okay.
I don't know. I don't watch Star Wars, so what are you talking about? What?
I got
I'm not
nothing.
orange. I mean, I kind of look orange. I don't.
Move along. Move along.
Anyway, let's. Anyway. So it was sort of so he was talking about Aaron Pierre and Kyle Chandler's chemistry on for the screen test. It was a miraculous moment. Unfortunately, well, maybe miraculous is in the chat. Who knows? But I just he was like, I just love their chemistry together, all that stuff. So
That's great.
that's really awesome. Like
It's
I
really
know that's
promising.
promising. That's good to see. He promised the same thing with different type of chemistry, with Superman and Lois Lane. Unless yeah, I mean it could get to that point. I don't know. I think people they could be gay. Who knows? I don't know. But I think. But again, they're talking about a
I think
different
that's a
type of
reach.
chemistry.
I think
They're
that's a
a different
reach.
blessed from the start. It's different type of chemistry. I'm just saying James Gunn has mentioned this before in terms of chemistry between two leads. So, again, that's awesome to see. This fan art looks really cool, by the way. But depends on the chemistry. Sometimes chemistry can make cold. So, chemistry can make all sorts of reactions because chemistry is a very interesting sort of thing to do. Chemistry could make cakes because baking is chemistry. But this is awesome to see. Got a lot of lantern stuff today. Um, yes, I'm John S, the science guy. Anyway, I swear I'm not that much of an asshole. Apparently, Bill Nye's a huge asshole, so that's saddening, but that's the case. Anywho, but yeah, so he's promising a lot of thanks for spelling my name right. There's been a lot of Lantern stuff from James Gunn, not from James Gunn, but it's the next thing to be filmed along with Supergirl. Supergirl's next month. Lanterns allegedly, according to Production Bulletin, is the month after. And the DCU is really, really heading there. And then the Clayface is sometime next year, early next year. So boom, blessed from the start, blessed from the ongoing everything in regards to the DCU. We're almost done with the first project. We're 7 months away from the next project. So now we are going on to fan casting. Now, we've talked about Clayface a lot of times, and people are recommending a whole bunch of directors. Well, I have some directors. I am the horror guy, as you can tell from my poster in the background. I have other posters. Unfortunately, you can't see. I do have a Thing poster, the Thing, John Carpenter's Thing, and I do have an It Chapter 2 poster. So, and I guess you could kind of count Planet of the Apes. Sometimes there's like horror in there. I don't know. But yeah, so I do have a horror it's all like 100 horror movies, and it's like a scratch off poster. So you can see my dirty room, and I do have a horror blanket. You can see Hannibal Lecter right there. So I'm a horror guy, so I was excited about this fan casting for a director for Clayface, which is described as a body horror gothic tragedy. So that gets me going. Mike Flanagan writing the project gets me going, but he's busy. Unfortunately, he's got Carrie, he's got the Exorcist move up sequel, remake, whatever the fuck it's gonna be. He's got the Dark Tower. He's got Life of Chuck. He's got a whole bunch of shit. So he's too busy. He's like, all right, James Gunn, here's a script. Get a good director, or I'm going to come in and use your last name on you, motherfucker. So, I have some ideas. Now, here's the thing. Dan has Jordan Peele. I think Jordan Peele could be good. I do think, like, I don't think he would do it, but it would certainly be an interesting way, like because he does like fairly grounded stuff. Even weirder stuff like Nope and Us were still felt relatively grounded. So I don't think he would do something as big and like body horror as like Clayface, but I think he could definitely do the like human element. He does human element like Get Out and Us like had that sort of like duality human element that like definitely worked for those movies. So would he be good? Yes. Would I think he'd do it? No. I just feel like he wants to do his own thing. He doesn't want to be part of like a huge
Yeah,
studio that
I
we're a
don't
part
see
of a
him
bigger
attaching
universe.
himself.
I don't
Yeah.
think he wants to do that. I think, and he tends to do all black casts because he's like, I'm black. I like to work with black casts. That's just what I do, and that's fair. So and considering Clayface in the DCU has been confirmed, it's Alan Tudyk, and he's most likely playing the live action version as well. So. Like not saying he hasn't worked with white actors. I mean, he did work with Elizabeth Moss and Tim Hunt. What was I forget the other actor in Us, but he tends to use all black casts for the most part. So, um,
90%
like
African American.
90%, unless they're the
Yeah.
villains, which is like fair. Like that's how he's like, that's what I work with. That's what I do. That's my life, and I want to like have my culture, my life portrayed on screen like that. And that's fair. Like that's how it's done for a lot of other directors as well. So, and I don't think he wants to be part of like the DC universe. I don't think he wants to do like
Yeah, I think
CGI heavy kind of stuff.
yeah, I feel like he thinks films like that are beneath him, and that's fair. You know, he's trying to really say something with his with his projects.
I fucking love the East West Bowl videos. Those are just so fucking funny. Fudge. Anyway, but yeah, whether it be horror or comedy, Jordan Peele is a master. I can't wait for his next movie, whatever it is.
Agreed.
But but yeah, I think that would be awesome, but that's kind of a wish fulfillment sort of thing because I don't think he would do it. But I have a whole bunch of other because it was funny because like Dan was like, I have one. Liz, John, do you have one? I'm like, I got five.
Yeah,
so
and I got nothing. So
so
go for
I'll
it.
try to be as quick as I
I
can.
barely know a thing about the character, let alone who could
So
possibly direct.
yeah.
So
So first things first is a director I have talked about at length who could yes,
yeah.
I'm hard right now. No,
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I'm not. And I'm not showing you the evidence. Calm down. But hole's a hole.
We didn't
Frank
get
Grillo,
clarification either
hole's a
way,
goal.
honestly.
Yeah. It's so what I have first things first. I've talked about him before. The man, the myth, the legend. I gotta, hold on. I'm gonna full screen myself real quick. Yeah, see? And can you really blame me? I got his poster for his first ever movie. Boom. There we go. So Dan, shut
Yeah,
the fuck up.
I need an intimacy coordinator, Dan.
Anyway, but Sam Raimi, he is a legend. And he would just kind of uh no, Zoe Kravitz needs to come in with Channing Tatum and do that. Although they're broken up now, so oh well.
Oh,
Um,
well.
but yeah, Sam Raimi, just like that goes hard. That goes hard. Him with a fucking AK or him with a revolver, that goes hard. But Sam Raimi is a guy who started out in horror, has done a shit ton of horror, but has also done big budgets for superhero films. So I feel like that kind of goes hand in hand with what he's done. He's done like tragic human stories, he's done horror, and he's done superhero. So I feel like the amalgamation of all that put into one, I think he would be perfect because, I mean, he just did Multiverse of Madness. He's shown he wants to return to the superherodom. He's okay with working with a big company with a big budget, although 40 million isn't really a big budget if that is the actual budget. But he's recently done horror. He did direct some episodes of, Ash versus the Evil Dead, like right here. Willing to return to superhero projects and doesn't mind working under a big, corporation like Disney. So I think DC Studios / Warner Brothers would be just another day for him. So I think that would be awesome. I mean, he checks all the boxes. He would be kind of in terms of a big name, quote unquote safe choice, but I think the way he directs, I think he would offer something really interesting. Just do what, just let him do what he needs to do. Because as I've said many, many times, when Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness is a Sam Raimi movie, it's good. When it's a Marvel movie, it fucking sucks. So you kind of got a battle of visions on that movie. And I mean, just look at how fucking awesome he looks like an untouchable. Anyway, but I think, Sam Raimi, he's just so talented. He's done so much in his illustrious career as a director. And I think with his most recent project, I think it proves that, bring him along for the ride, have him walk on the wild side. I know it's not Batman, I know because he always wanted to direct a Batman movie, but it's close. It's Clayface, that's a Batman villain. And, I love the man. I love his technique. I love his work, and you know, and he's not a writer director. He doesn't really write his own films that much anymore. So that's perfect as well. He's usually good at directing other people's visions, but like kind of making them his own. Interesting choice, but
Okay.
honestly, look up the YouTuber internet comment etiquette. Eric, he looks almost exactly like Sam Raimi. I would say I would love to see a biopic on the making of the original Evil Dead. That would be amazing. That would be an amazing movie because so much shit went down on that movie, on the production of that movie. So yeah, Sam Raimi, would love to see it, but I have four other choices, so we're moving on.
Here we go.
Uh, the next one I have, I'm probably gonna butcher his name. Again, I did mention him before. Um, and he is a Norwegian filmmaker, but he's done American productions. But his name Andre Uvredal. He has directed. He's worked with Guillermo del Toro, and that was another choice that people had. But he's working on Frankenstein right now, so I don't think he would be available. But he's worked on Autopsy of Jane Doe, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, Troll Hunters, Troll Hunter. Sorry, Troll Hunters is the animated television series. Troll Hunter, completely different. But he's worked with like smaller budgets, but with heavy CGI. Like Troll Hunter is a big one, where it's like the dude had like no budget, yet the effects still look amazing in that movie. I would say I think Troll Hunter might still be on Amazon. I don't know. I would recommend it if you want like to know his work in regards to that. But he's also done American productions. He's done smaller productions. He's done big productions. He's worked with a lot of great filmmakers. He has dipped his toe into the greater Hollywood field. This would be a weirder choice, but I think he could do. He's worked with like heavy visual effects, but he's also done like smaller personal character driven stories, and I've loved what I've seen of his work. So I think he would definitely be a weirder choice, and maybe not the forefront, but I think he would be, he's worked on smaller productions and maybe he needs that big breakout. I believe he is might be working on a project right now, Mortal, I think it's called, with Nat Wolf. I don't know if that's currently in production right now or if that's like just greenlit and they haven't done anything yet. But I love this director. I think he's done a lot of great work, and I think it would be a weirder choice to have him, but I think he would be good. Like you know, just from the CGI aspect as well as the, smaller personal story aspect.
Okay.
But the next one I have, we're going from Doctor Strange sequel to Doctor Strange original with Scott Derrickson. So Scott Derrickson, again, has worked on big superhero projects with Doctor Strange, but soon after he fell through with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, he worked on the Black Phone. Now, I don't think the Black Phone 2, I don't know if it's still in production or hasn't. I don't know where Black Phone 2 is right now. But this is just
But
another
I
case.
heard nothing but good things about Black Phone, so
Black Phone, amazing movie. He was like that proved that Scott Derrickson, he's like, all right, fine, Marvel, go fuck yourself. I'm doing my own thing. And then he did it, and it was great. Ethan Hawke was great. Mason Thames, great underrated talent. I expect big things from him. He's going to be in the How to Train Your Dragon remake. It looks like
yes.
garbage, but I bet he will be good.
Doesn't look like
So,
garbage.
Black Phone 2 is coming out in 2025. So I don't know if they finished filming or if they're in post-production. So he might not be available. But I was just like, I just thought, oh, Scott Derrickson, because I had Sam Raimi, he did the Doctor Strange sequel. Might as well get the guy who did the original. And this dude's so talented. Again, worked with surrealist CGI, visual effects heavy movies, but then he worked with, he did Doctor Strange, Day the Earth Stood Still, but then he's, had really small movies like Sinister and Inferno, or Hellraiser, Inferno, and, Black Phone, and soon to be Black Phone 2. So I think Scott Derrickson would be great. It just he might be a bit busy. I don't think he would be ready now. Kind of like how Guillermo del Toro would also be great. So he would be, it's been adjusted. So I mean that makes sense. Like get the horror movie to fucking come out in October. Duh. So yeah, I think I think Scott Derrickson would be another great choice because again, it's kind of some the what I try to do, what I tried to think of is directors who have done heavy CGI work, but also smaller personal horror films that can make those ideas work. Now, now oh God, if you haven't watched Sinister, go watch Sinister. That movie is so underrated, so good. Um, but yeah, Scott Derrickson, another, and I can't wait for Black Phone 2. I don't know how they'll make that work because Black Phone had a pretty definitive ending. Um, but yeah, Scott
Yeah,
Derrickson.
no, I like the picks so far. I like John's thinking about it. Like you said, they've worked both on horror and on comic book related films before. Like, so I totally get the train of thought for sure. But again, I personally don't know enough about Clayface. I don't know enough about the story itself, whatever version we're gonna get. Because again, like the Creature Commandos Clayface, as Alan Tudyk has even expressed, he's got two different voices because he's got this Creature Commandos Clayface, and then he has the Clayface for the possible film that he's going to be in. He has a completely different voice there. So until I know what the storyline is going to be, until I know what we're kind of where we want to be as far as an actor or a cast, I really don't, like I said, I don't know enough about the character to really form an opinion one way or the other.
Right.
Yeah, but I,
Um,
I totally understand your train of thought, and it makes perfect sense to me.
yeah, but the next one unfortunately hasn't dealt with a big CGI budget. That's Alexander Aja. I really like him as a director. He's done, again, he hasn't done heavy CGI. I mean, Horns kind of had some heavy CGI, but like not a ton. So this would probably be the most unlikely because he just recently had Never Let Go, which I haven't seen yet. My friend said it was like okay at best, but I still want to watch it before the year ends, hopefully. But I've really liked I mean his Hills Have Eyes remake is just nothing short of brilliant, arguably better than the original. So there's that. I've seen Horns. I liked Horns. I know a lot of people liked Horns, but I liked Horns. I thought Daniel Radcliffe was so good in that movie. But he's definitely a weirder director. I don't know if he would be on like kind of the big corporate side, and he hasn't worked with a heavy CGI budget. So I don't know. I don't think he would, but I just kind of threw him in there as sort of like a possible choice because he has done like smaller human stories. He's done a lot of practical effects, which I don't think they would do with Clayface, but he's also like done with like if you've watched his Hills Have Eyes remake, he's done a lot with human deformities and mutants, which kind of fits into Clayface a little bit. So you could
Yeah,
definitely do the body horror angle if that's how you want to go. But whatever they decide to do, Alexander Aja would probably not be the one you would go with, but I still think he's a great director and I still think he would be a good addition to the film, but again, the most unlikely. But he has little bits that showcase that I think he could do a good job. And then I have one final one. This is probably the guy who's dealt with the biggest budgets in terms of CGI. So the next one but he's also worked on smaller horror films, and that's Adam Wingard. His two latest films were the Godzilla versus Kong franchise. He did Godzilla versus Kong and then Godzilla X Kong the New Empire, but he has also worked on Blair Witch, which I would say is better than the original film. Yes, I said it. Blair Witch Project overrated as fuck and a pile of shit. So, I'm just going to say that now. But I know a lot of people haven't liked Adam Wingard, but I think he's done some good work in the past. Um, but from the movies I've seen, again, he's worked with an astronomical budget under Warner Brothers, so that's definitely a key thing here. And he's it's like he also did The Guest with Dan Stevens, which was fucking excellent. So, and yes, I know he did the Death Note remake, but no matter what, that movie was going to be garbage, no matter who directed it. But even then, he's done Your Next, he's done Blair Witch, he's done The Guest, which were all really good. Well, at least from what I've heard of Your Next, I haven't seen it, but I've heard good things. And then on top of the fact he's worked with Warner Brothers before with the Godzilla and Kong franchise. So I would say I think he would be damn, all right. Why do you gotta fucking zoom in? Jesus. But yeah, I think Adam Wingard would be a good choice. It would probably be an unlikely choice, but the key thing was he's worked with Warner Brothers before, so he might be like a name on the docket. So it's like, all right, you've worked with horror, you've worked with us before, you've worked with big CGI budgets, get in here. So yeah, that's kind of the main thing. What are you fucking doing? Anyway, this is creeping me out.
Trying to understand what that what those hand symbols mean.
He's hashtag Illuminati. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
but yeah, Adam Wingard I think would be a good choice. But yeah, those are all my choices. I got Sam Raimi, Andre Uverdahl, Scott Derrickson, Alexander Aja, and Adam Wingard, as well as Jordan Peele. Curious to know the people's thoughts on this. Do you think I'm an idiot for all these choices? Do you think I'm a hidden genius? I
Hey, we're
think
all out our opinions.
out of all of these, I think Sam Raimi and Adam Wingard are probably the most likely. I think Andre Uverdahl and Alexander Aja might be too weird of choices. And then Scott Derrickson is still working on post production for Black Phone 2, or might still be filming. So that's unlikely. But I'm just like, these are all the choices I thought of. I'm like, these are some great guys who know how to direct horror and CGI. So it's CGI budget. So, I'm just showing that to the audience if I am. I don't think I am. I'm not. I'm not. But okay. But those are my choices. Unfortunately, I feel bad because I know you don't have a ton to add, but I hope you
I've
liked
got
my
no
choices.
skin in this game. I could not help you with this one
You're
at
not a
all.
big horror gal. That
Well,
also doesn't
again,
help matters
once
either.
once we get that character introduced into Creature Commandos, and I can get a little bit of background, I can get a better understanding of what the character's about. Maybe I'll have an opinion one way or the other. But again, the film is going to be completely different from what we're getting in the Creature Commandos series. So again, not we'll see what happens. That's all.
Yeah. So that's I think that's it. Yeah. Try to keep this under an hour. But yes, thank you, everyone. We got some updates on Lanterns, on Bane and Deathstroke, and did a bit of a fan casting, and we hope you enjoyed. But that is it for today's DCU Daily. Please we saw, like the fucking video, because it's like, get us up to the levels of this new Superman trailer. Nah, just kidding.
Yeah,
But please comment. Maybe your comments will be featured on a future episode. Subscribble. And if you're already subscribed, click the notification bell so you know when we go live. Because I know we have weird schedules. We apologize, but that's just how it is.
You'll be all right.
But yeah. Peace out, everybody. Thank you for joining us on this fine day. Have a happy holiday. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a happy Hanukkah. Have a happy Kwanzaa. Have a happy Flying Spaghetti Monster Day. Praise
Have a happy Boxing Day.
Happy Boxing Day. And
happy holidays.
Kyle Chandler is daddy.